I want to talk about the markets. That's what we're going to do. Real quick shout out to Prime. So Prime has been the sponsors of these streams for a while. So shout out to the Prime team. If you use the link in the description of this video, you use that code BANE50, you get up to a $7,000 deposit bonus. It's 7%. Let's get into it. So Bitcoin high time frame is looking like this. Now, we've been using this range for a while, and kind of the argument that I had brought up in the last stream is saying, okay, well, what's a potential reason that the bottom might form here, right? Okay, well, maybe we have this is the inverse of this or this, and we're just gonna fucking rip back to the upside. But basically, if you go to the last stream and you watch the beginning, or if you go to the condensed stream and you watch the timestamp parts where I talk about the high time frame on Bitcoin, high time frame, there was two key levels that I was working with for Bitcoin in terms of where do I want to see price get above to get bullish, high time frame. So the first level on the monthly is up here, right? So I basically said, I didn't basically say, this is exactly what I said. I said, as long as we're trading below here, I don't really see a reason to be macro bullish on Bitcoin on the monthly chart. I do think that there are some levels below, like I said, where I'd be interested in getting into long-term positions, right? Putting in spot, right? Buying spot back with stables down here or above here. And I talked about this on the spaces that I did with Ninja and Chimp Zoo, the ultimate bull god. I talked about kind of, listen, I'm okay missing, if we're going to new all-time high, I'm okay missing this part of the move. I don't care, right? That's how I trade. Doesn't mean that there's no longs between here and here. Doesn't mean you can't bottom fish. It doesn't mean any of that. But that's just how I trade when I'm looking at reclaims of levels, confirmation, things of that nature. So 35K was that monthly level. I said, I don't really see a reason to be high time frame bullish until we're back above here. Very similar. I kind of had a level that I compared it to was losing this. And I said, why are you getting, I mean, obviously if you bought 3K, great. But to me, this was a way better buy. It was once we closed through there, there's your retest. Once you had that monthly close back above there, now you're buying. Risk is defined easily and boom, Bob's your uncle or your aunt. Price rallied away. So I'm playing this 35K level similar to how I played the 6K 5800 level back here. That doesn't necessarily mean a new bull market is on, but for sure if we're back above 35, I think we can get a $10,000 move to the upside. So I want to be looking to long Bitcoin, potentially long Ethereum, potentially long some altcoins if the alt BTC pairs, alt ETH pairs are lining up for them to potentially outperform. That's that monthly level, okay? And if you want a more in-depth explanation of that, go watch the last stream, the condensed stream at the very least. So that was the high time frame monthly level that I was working with, right? And then on the weekly, we had this 31,800 level here. And if you zoom in after I draw this here, you're gonna see where our trade setup that we took a long and a short, both played out on this weekly level here. And if we zoom in, you can see how key that level was. When we had our last stream, I said we could see a move above these highs. I'm targeting here. If I see weakness above here, I'm looking to short back into the range lows, right? Where did it trade back into? The order block that caused price to go up and caused the break in market structure, right? Came down, we got in a long. I posted this order block on Twitter. I said, I'm looking for reasons to get long down here. I posted the H12 SFP that occurred. You can see it right here. I posted the H1 SFP. Where's the target? Back up to this level, and look where price stopped. And if we zoom in here, you'll actually see an H1 SFP that kind of was your signal that we were seeing exhaustion here. So hopefully some of you guys were prepared because we mapped out this entire scenario in the last video. We mapped out the move from down here to here. We mapped out the short from here back into the range, and I mapped out another long from here back up to here. So hopefully some of you guys made some money. I know some of you did because you guys DM me, which I love. I got some DMs from people showing me their entries, showing me their P&L, showing me that they made some money, that they're learning, they're actually applying all of this shit that I spend my free time yelling at you guys about every single fucking week for the last 3 years. That feels good, man. So hopefully, this wasn't completely caught by surprise. I saw a lot of people confused by price action when I, in reality, said I wanted a move here. I like this move because now it's given us a bit more of a range to work in. What do I not like? Obviously, no one likes this, right? To me, these full retraces of the potential breakouts are bad. I do think there's one bullish argument, which I will discuss here, but personally, based on this getting rejected at our level, another move up getting rejected at our level, and a lower high relative to here, makes me think that this range is going to resolve with another move to the downside and likely take out this wick. We're going to wait and see. It's too early to tell. I'm not in a position currently, but when I get in one, I will post and I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking. Hopefully that's straightforward. Level to level plays, right? So above the monthly, I'm bullish for much higher. Below the weekly, as long as we're either rejecting here or showing weakness here, I'm looking to short here. If we are able to get above here and hold, this is not holding. Look what happened as soon as we got to my level, right? The first candle looked really good, closed back below, and then on other exchanges, like if you go to some of the leverage exchanges, you actually got a swing failure pattern right at that key level. This is not the type of PA you want to see at a level that you're hoping we reclaim. Move up, close below, SFP, close below, break in market structure, retest, nuke it. Does this not look similar to this? This is the exact same setup, and I posted about this in Discord. SFP, break in market structure, pullback, nuke, exact same setup. Looks slightly different, but the mechanics of it are the same, right? High, higher high, lower high. High, higher high, lower high. The over under, right? The breaker setup. It's all the same setup that I use to enter the majority of my trades. This was a perfect example of what I always talk about. I'm always like, okay, when we get to resistance here, I want to see if there's weakness at the level. That's exactly what I'm looking for. This is exactly what caused me to get short. When we came up to the level, closed the 12-hour below the level, and then SFP'd on the 12-hour. So after this candle, I am looking for shorts, right? Once we close that SFP, I'm looking for shorts. So that candle actually closes here. I'm now looking for shorts. Where's the short? Bearish order block that broke market structure, retest, boom. You could also play it as a breaker. There's your breaker, down candle before an up move that took out a high, retest, boom. This was kind of a 101 main type of setup. It's one that I use almost exclusively. Is this exact type of trade. Exact same thing happened here. H1 SFP. This on the hourly. Look at this on the hourly here. And now look at this on the 15-minute. This is the same price action. It's almost identical. It's gonna take you time, repetition, to get comfortable seeing this play out over and over and over again. But when I see it, I've had so much chart time. I've seen this so much, it becomes like second nature. When I see it happening at a level, I'm like, boom, I know what I'm looking for now. I'm gonna zoom in, I'm gonna dial into a low time frame, and I'm gonna look for a setup. And you got the exact same setup here. Breaker, break in market structure, retest, sell off. Weakness at a key high time frame level. So I made money in these last couple of days. I made money longing into here, shorting here, and longing back here. And hopefully what I've explained makes sense to you guys. And I posted this in Discord. This is something I want you guys to study. I said these two price action patterns are effectively the exact same. This is how I enter 90% of my trades, whether it be short, which is what I've exemplified here. Two different short opportunities here. Or if you're looking for longs, it's this, but the inverse. And that actually played out down here. I talk about this constantly on stream. The pattern itself, being able to say, okay, I know that at resistance, this kind of PA, generally distributive, looks like it might sell off. This kind of PA, right? At resistance, generally distributive, might sell off. What are my triggers then to get in? Noticing that pattern is one part. The rest of it is around context. So noticing this is only half the battle. You have to notice this, but then where is it occurring? Right? Context. Where is it occurring? What is the trend? Is it at support? Is it happening at resistance? Am I bearish on the high time frame? Am I bullish on the high time frame? All those things matter. If you just go around looking for PA like this, but it's at an irrelevant area, you're not going to get the consistency that you're looking for, right? Just being able to spot the pattern and know how to enter is one part of the puzzle. Where that pattern occurs, what is the higher time frame context, the trend, things like that. Those are the other pieces of the puzzle that you got to put together to start refining the signals so you get less noise, right? Everything that I wanted to see happened. Go watch that last video. I said, I want to see a move up to here. I want to see if there's resistance here and weakness. We got that. We're at high time frame resistance. I'm actively looking for shorts at this level. My pattern that I like to get into shorts plays out. It gives me a setup that I can define my risk. All those things get ticked off. I now have a good trade. Risk is defined. Entry trigger is there. It's all there. If I pull my fib from here to here, you bet this is right in the OTE right there. So look, it goes into the order block. Look where it wicks into. All the way past the 7-9, closes back below. Literally the next candle completely breaks out of the range to the downside. So all of the things that I was expecting played out. But what did I do right? I had a plan in advance. So when this move happened and I wasn't, necessarily max long here, I didn't care. I had a plan to take a trade at this level. So I was okay waiting. This is 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours, 60 hours. So literally days. I was okay waiting for price to get to the level that I want to do business at. You have to dictate. Obviously, the market is going to present you with opportunities, and it seems like the opportunities are endless. So you have to have a system that you create that dictates the signals that you want to get involved in. Where do you want to do business? I wanted to do business at this 31,800 level, so I waited until price got there. Patience, right? I had a plan for what I was looking for when I got there. Now there's no FOMO. I'm waiting. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know where I'm looking for it. And then when the time comes to actually execute, that's when you pull the fucking trigger. But the hardest part generally is that time in between. Okay, I want to take a trade here. Well, watching everyone bull post for like 4 or 5 days leading up to that can fuck with you mentally. You go, oh, fuck, this thing's going up. I need to get in a long. I can't be sitting here. That waiting game is one of the hardest parts of the puzzle to master, because when you're looking for setups, it's really difficult to wait. Like, I obviously would want to be max long on any sort of $3,000, $4,000 move to the upside. I wasn't. If you guys actually remember, I initially shorted here on stream. I got stopped out and I said, okay, now I'm looking to long up into here where I'm looking to short. So I missed the bottom, but I had a clear plan. I said, if this trade gets stopped out, my next target is here. Okay, now I'm long bias, short term, look for longs. And when we get up here, I'm now short bias, looking for shorts. Once I got stopped out here, I said I expect to move here. When we got up here, I said I expect rejection here. Got down here, I said I expect a bounce here. So all of that was posted. So hopefully with what I've just explained, it'll start to cement in your mind a little bit. And you obviously have to get in there and do it in your charts as well, right? Me explaining it a bazillion times is not going to make you learn it. Like, you have to put the time in. You have to go on the chart yourself, and you have to get those eyes trained to see these things, right? The long trigger basically for me here, because I posted this order block, right? What is this? We have a bullish 12-hour order block. So the reason I was willing to bid here, okay, we have a bullish 12-hour order block. Let's say you don't have the 12-hour chart, you have the daily. It's the same thing. Bullish 12-hour order block here that broke market structure. So when we come back here, you can argue that there is enough reason to potentially look for a long trigger. You have a bullish 12-hour order block. We potentially are shifting the trend, potentially breaking out of the range. This is our first higher high in like 4 weeks. So when we came back down here, the reason I drew an arrow at least back up into here was I said, okay, well, this is support. What do I want to do? We just had a bullish break in market structure. We're back into support. I'm going to look for reasons to potentially get in a long. So I watched and I waited and I was patient. And then we initially had this little uptick, came right back down. And then what we do? There's a bullish 12-hour SFP. Zoom in. You had a bullish 1-hour SFP here as well. 1 hour started looking potentially like it was starting to turn up. SFP, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So I said, okay, I'm going to get in a long here. My invalidation was the SFP low. I longed like right in the middle of this. My entry was like 29,750 or something. I posted it. Very simply, I longed based on 12-hour SFP, 1-hour SFP, within a 12-hour bullish order block. That was my entire setup. Stop was defined as this low here. Target back into this consolidation. And we also had our 31,800 level, which ended up being the top. But I was just saying, okay, at the very least, I want to see it come back into these lows, and it's either going to consolidate here, right? And then if it flips 31,800, We target the next level, which was 35. But if it rejects here, I'm looking to short it, or at least take profit on my longs. And that's exactly what happened, right? We got the move. There's your SFP. I entered here, stop here, target here. Great trade. Once we came up to resistance here, what is this? This is the order block that caused this entire down move. Why is this a relevant order block? Well, it's near a key SR level, 31,800. And what happened at that order block? Low time frame exhaustion. SFP, break in market structure, bearish retest, Bob's your uncle. That was the long scenario that I played out on Twitter. So we played this move, and this move. So if you didn't make money, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Where do I think we're going now? I don't love the full retrace here, right? I don't like the full retrace here. I do think this range probably resolves to the downside. Personally, I would be looking, if you're not short from up around 31,800, I would be looking at the high time frame and saying, okay, where's that high time frame range low? Right here. I would probably base my trade around this level. So any sort of bounce, we could see a bounce back up into here. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if the bulls have that in them, but maybe we see a repeat of this, right? Which is effectively this exact move here, right? So this breakdown came back, retested, sold off. Maybe we see another move up here and then a sell-off. Maybe we fill in some of this candle. It's still only Monday. It's early in the week. Maybe we come back up into these lows. I don't really know. I'm not positioned either way right now, but I think this is a pretty clear level here based on the very high time frame. You have that 12-hour order block, which we use to originate our long at the range low. If we get below here, I think we absolutely trade below this wick and probably get extension even lower. So if you're looking for a setup, I think it's likely sell bounces or wait for this level to get lost and then start shorting. Are there going to be intraday opportunities to get short higher than here? And if you're like, okay, Maine, well, if you want to short below here, why not just short now? Well, what happens if we do this? And I get my head squeezed and then we go and I've ended up closing my shorts. So I'm just gonna wait and see what happens probably tomorrow before I make any decision. But below 28,540, very confident that we likely take out this wick and probably get extension to the downside. So if we get some sort of move like this, let's say, you get a bounce and then a breakdown and then you're underside. So let's say this is how it ends up playing out. Even though you're like, oh, I wish I would have shorted here, whatever. Let's say you wait to short here, but your risk is going to be defined by the high that breaks down the level. You're still going to be able to get a decent trade in here. Because if you short here, well, where's your idea wrong? Is it way up here? That risk reward is actually worse than the breakdown trade, right? So you don't need to rush into it. Like I said earlier, patience is key. Wait for price to come to a level that you want to do business at, and then go and look for your setups. Don't force the trade. So overall, I do think that this likely breaks down. I don't like this rejection, this lower high. I don't like any of that. What I could see happening intra-week is this. We are into this 12-hour order block still, and we have just put in, not on the H12 yet. This 12-hour candle closes in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, this 12-hour candle closes, and what we could have here is a SFP, right, of this low. So you could potentially argue. I don't like that we've already tagged this order block and had a reaction, and now we're just back at it. I don't like that. If this was bullish, I wanted this to consolidate here and then make a new high. I didn't want it to fully retrace the move back to the order block. But you could argue range low. Maybe we're just wiping out all of the people who longed the weekly open. Anyone who longed on the weekend and did not take profit is like at break even or underwater. So maybe that's what's happening here. We're just seeing a squeeze. SFP here. If this closes as a bullish SFP, which it could, then there's potentially, right, the H4 already closed as an SFP. Maybe we get some sort of low time frame trigger for a long. But again, if we get long here based on an SFP and I get a little more PA and I say, okay, you know what, I want to long this, I'm going to be looking at a move back up into here to take profit. So if this does retrace tomorrow and we get some bullish PA over the next couple of days, I'm taking profit back into this high, assuming that what happened here, capping this, is the same thing that happens on a bounce here. Ultimately, I think we go lower. Any sort of move up from here, in my opinion, is an opportunity to short higher, not an opportunity to just long into resistance. This is the only bullish scenario I see right now within this range. Is this is an SFP and we're going to rally. And I don't mean bullish to 50K. I mean bullish to maybe back above 31,000. I have no interest in being super duper fucking long, expecting way higher until we get above that 31,800 level. And if we do, then I'm targeting that next high time frame level, right? Up around 35 or whatever it was. So again, some sort of balance here interweek. I'm probably looking at that as an opportunity to short for the next leg, ultimately targeting before here, but it doesn't mean that there can't be a scalp long from here to here. Like if this thing's gonna bounce, it needs to bounce from here. I don't think that we can close below here and then bounce. I think if we close below this low here, I think we go here and much lower. So waiting to see. Maybe what happens is we close as an SFP, we get a pitiful bounce, and then boom, now you're shorting the underside of this swing low. Bearish retest, target 1, target 2. I think I made it pretty clear what my expectations are for Bitcoin right now. I'm watching this 12-hour level here. Let's see if we SFP it. I'm personally leaning towards any sort of bounce. I don't know if it gets this high. Maybe it's a weak one. Maybe we just roll over from here, but I'm looking to get short on any sort of bounce, or if we lose that high time frame range low around 28,500, I'm looking to short to down below this wick. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum gave a banger setup. So if you go watch the last video, we went through a bunch of altcoins that were effectively printing bearish retests or opportunities for bearish retests. And what I talked about on the last stream is I said, while Bitcoin was holding its consolidation, a lot of altcoins like Ethereum had already made a leg down. So while Bitcoin was still holding the floor here on the 29th, Ethereum and a bunch of other alts already made a leg down. So I said, if we see Bitcoin move up to 31.32, it was trading at 28K at the time. That move to the upside, a 5 to 10% move to the upside, will likely mean a lot of alts experience a similar move to the upside. But while Bitcoin was here, ranging, right? This is Bitcoin. This was Ethereum and a bunch of alts, right? It was here. So I said, if Bitcoin has a move back towards the range high, I bet you a lot of alts bearish retest the range low that it just lost, offering a good short setup. And then Bitcoin is now back at the range low. And lo and behold, that's exactly what fucking happened. So you can see we had marked out this area on Ethereum. I basically just said, okay, well, what's the floor here? It's effectively around, here. I said, what I want to see on Ethereum is a move up, bearish retest of here, and then a sell off. And I said the long trigger would be getting above here and holding. Now you're just long, stop here, long here, right? Target like 24 to like 2,500. So Ethereum came up just in line with Bitcoin, retested that underside. It got above, but it instantly sold back off. So there's a couple arguments to be made here. One, okay, did I pick a bad area? Should I have just marked out this order block, right? Maybe this would have been more accurate, but I kind of just free-handed it and said, okay, this is like the floor basically, right? These lows is the floor. It broke down. So it came above. So you could argue that when it broke through here and retested, this was a long, right? Because that's the scenario I'd drawn out. So let's assume that happened. You longed this. Well, you got stopped out. Simple as that, right? You're wrong. You longed it. It instantly nuked through. Okay, that idea is wrong. But now that this just turned out to be a deviation, what do you think you want to do on the second test? You want to short that with your stop there. So if you got stopped out here because you said, oh, well, it broke through main's level or it broke through my level, right? Because it did. It pushed a little higher than I thought. I said I wanted to see 1,900. If you go watch the video, I said 1,900 to 2,000. Well, it went up to, 2,020. So it went a little higher than I expected, but pretty damn fucking close to where I was expecting. It actually went right to here, just shy of there. But regardless, this was the level I had drawn. It went a little higher. But when it broke down, absolutely, this second test is one you want to short. The other clue that you could have had to say, okay, well, why am I not longing this retest? Is if you look at the time here, well, what was Bitcoin doing on May 30th? So the idea is that, okay, yeah, Ethereum broke above its level, but Bitcoin is at resistance and it's showing weakness. Probably not a good idea to long Ethereum based on that. So I didn't personally long Ethereum. I was just trading Bitcoin. But if you just copied my level and you said, well, it broke through, I'm going to long, you got stopped. That fucking happens, right? But absolutely, if you're trying to just do some hindsight analysis and say, okay, why was it not a good idea to long this retest? Well, when this retest happened, Bitcoin was at resistance and looking bearish. So why would you long Ethereum? And then naturally, when this level failed, right? So when it turned out that this was just a deviation here and we instantly sold back off, the next test is one you want to sell. You pull your fib from here to here. Where do you think this level plays out? Right into that sweet spot. If you zoom in, came right up into the area there, right into this previous floor, rejection, H1 SFP, boom, Bob's your uncle. Breakdown, retest right there after the breakdown. So that makes this like a breaker quasi or just an SR flip. And again, over under. This is effectively like a very similar to an over under play here, right? Went over the level, back under, you short the bearish retest. But Ethereum played out effectively exactly as I expected. So if you go watch that video, it doesn't look as good visually as it did the way I explained in the video, but I said anywhere from 1900 to 2000 is where I think you want to look to short Ethereum, assuming Bitcoin moves up to 31,800 and shows weakness. And that's what happened. And a lot of alts did the exact same thing. Like if you look at Sol, I think it also played out very similarly, right? So we had our price floor, right? We had a little bit of a rally with Bitcoin, broke down, bearish retest. Someone asked me to look at XMR, and I said I think it looks like it might be topping, and this is what we had drawn out. So that's an update for whoever asked that, right? Most of these gave the exact same setup as Ethereum, right? Rallied with Bitcoin, back under. Litecoin, same shit, right? Rallied up, back under. What are some ones we talked about? See that, right? Move up with Bitcoin, bearish retest. Let's see if that played out. Let's look at AVAX. Didn't even get as high as I said, but I basically said a move up, bearish retest, short it. There you go, right there. What's another one I looked at? E-Gold, look at that. Same thing, right? Bearish retest with Bitcoin rallying. Sell off right there. Let's look at a few more. Gala, let's see if Gala played out. I mean, pretty damn fucking good, right? Drew out the level for you. Bearish retest, look to short it. So hopefully you guys are watching these streams and paying attention, because a lot of what I covered plays out. I don't take every trade that I go over with you guys. Primarily, I only trade Bitcoin and Ethereum. I trade some alts, but I mostly am trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. Doesn't mean I don't touch alts at all. So when I cover 10 or 15 alts at the end of a stream, I might lay out a bunch of setups that worked and I don't go over them the next stream. Doesn't mean that the information is useless. A lot of those alt bearish retest scenarios that were all predicated on Ethereum making this move and Bitcoin making this move played out very well. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully some of y'all are making fucking money. Come on. I would probably base my trade around this level. We could see a bounce back up into here. Maybe we see a repeat of this. This breakdown, came back, retested, sold off. Maybe we see another move up here and then a sell-off. Maybe we come back up into these lows. I think this is a pretty clear level here based on the very high time frame. You have that 12-hour order block, which we use to originate our long at the range low. So if you're looking for a setup, I think it's likely sell bounces or wait for this level to get lost and then start shorting. I do it for y'all. I do it for y'all. Then I'll look fucking smart. I can collect even more clout. You understand the words coming out of my mouth? That was a very bad Chris Tucker impression. Should I just go on my own channel and look? Oh God, it's like Inception. I always liken trade. Is liken a word? Is a lycanthrope? That's a werewolf. Maine, were you ever a nerd in high school? Absolutely. Good morning from Italy. What's up, bro? Ciao. I think that means what's up in Italian. I wish I knew how to pronounce your name, but it looks like a bunch of Chinese characters. Hey man, do you think it's possible for an average trader to earn a consistent 3-figure yearly income, or is that just the top percent? Are you asking me if it's possible to make $100 a year trading? I'm going to, get the meat that I need. Thank goodness. The meat that I need, that sounds bad. The only thing I'm taking is fucking hard work and HGH directly into my aorta. I need my beauty sleep. It's not a bearish structure, it's a bullish diamond. How'd that work out for you, dude? How'd this bullish diamond work out for you? Did it work out well? Bullish diamond. Shut the fuck up. It's like I've created a toxic sludge within my comment section, and it's just awesome. I love it. That's how you know we're in a bear market. Everyone's fucking pissed off, except for me, because I'm handsome and rich, and I got big arms, and I'm pasty. I don't have cancer. I'm just very pale. Okay, no, this guy isn't being funny. He's serious. The move down was just a bearish diamond, though. They're not identical. One is bullish. The first one is just a failed bullish diamond. Oh! Of course. This was a bullish diamond. This one's a bearish diamond. Sorry, I'm trying to follow your logic here because clearly you're very fucking smart. This was just a bullish diamond at resistance that broke down. Someone make sure to clip that because I'm gonna need to rewatch that. I need that to percolate in my mind. So next time I see a bullish diamond occur at resistance, I long it and hope it doesn't just fail. What a stupid fucking comment that is. So let me put myself in your mind. You live at home in your mom's basement. You're probably eating a Hot Pocket right now. You're trading dust because you're just absolutely decimated by the bear market. You've masturbated 3 times today to your fucking 2D waifu. I'm putting myself in your mind. First of all, I'd be depressed. Second of all, take a shower. Wash your hands. Go outside. Hello to you, son. Holy smokes. That is crazy.